Osman. The mask has come off on this episode, and we saw the real Osman. Forget that poetry guy. We saw the real Osman in this episode. Hi, my name is Miss Iffy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. It's time for Shisha. It's time for share. And this is a beautiful rope that I got, very spring. The sun's coming out here in London. And I tried to do something with my hair today, just twist it around. Let's get on with this episode. Episode 12, season 4 of The Other Way, 90 Day Fiancé. The episode's named was The Glow Soon Becomes the Ashes. Just trying to remember, I just finished watching it. And wow. Okay, let's start with Jamie and Chris. So we see Chris having a chat with her mum. She tells her mum that Jamie hasn't got any job, and that she feels like in this relationship she's the provider. Those are my words, right? Her mum actually tells her, you are being the sugar mama. One thing I really liked about her mum is that her mum told the facts in this episode. Okay? On this episode, her mum, when that sat down, told her daughter the truth. She's like, I'm worried about this marriage because both of you are two drama queens. You know? And these two, like I said from the beginning, they clash. Their personalities are similar, and I don't think they understand how to communicate with each other without one of them getting upset. They don't know how to compromise. Yeah, so she's really worried about. She said how she sent Jamie $1,000, and that Jamie was upset that was not enough to cover the bills and pay for her gym membership. I was like, girl, imagine telling your partner that they didn't pay your gym membership. Obviously, unless you are a housewife, okay, and you guys decided to take that role and you're looking after the kids, so then you're entitled to that. But the fact that in this relationship, they haven't set that up, I just thought, wow. But one thing I really understand this episode is that Jamie told us her side of the story finally. I really appreciate Jamie was a lot more open, because so far, as an audience, all I've seen is the actions of what's happening in this relationship, which is that they got a very bad communication skill and that their personality clashes. And Chris saying, you know, Jamie quitted her job and blah, blah, and painting this picture of Jamie wants to be a sugar mama, when that is not the case. Also, we found out Jamie's actually not Colombian. She's from Venezuela, which a lot of people don't seem to understand, that when you live in another country, there's a visa issue. You know, you work visa, etc. So that, I'm glad she told us. She also sits down with her friend and says, look, can she believe that Jamie's a strong person in her, what do you call it, how she carries herself, the fears, the power, but because she's been dealing with this bullshit of her and Chris's relationship, that she didn't feel like she was being a strong woman she is. And she felt ashamed to be sharing this information with her friends of what's going wrong. Her friend actually says, look, do you know what? I told you so. The shade. But when the good thing I liked about it, he didn't just say to you, I told you so. He explained what was his fear was. His fear was that Jamie was going to, Chris was going to ghost Jamie again. And that she was going to come out all these excuses because he didn't feel like she was ready to settle down in Colombia. And, you know, she sits down and says, look, so she doesn't understand that I quitted my job to help her and to help the business. I didn't just quitted my job because I had my sugar mama moving to Colombia. Yeah, I quitted the job because this was our agreement. Which one thing Chris hasn't told us about it, the fact that it's reasonable if Jamie quitted her job because Chris sold her this dream, and Jamie felt like, you know what, we're ready to go in and build our business in Colombia. That's what she said. And she said now she's from Venezuela. She's finding it very difficult to find a job. And I understand. So watching this episode, I have a bit of sympathy towards Jamie. And yeah, and she said 5 months has been a long time. And she wants, Chris is coming back. She booked her flight and she wants to, when she comes back, she wants to sit down and want answers. Chris tend to, in their relationship, from what we viewed, when the kettle boils, she runs away. Or what's that saying? When the heat is turned up, she seems to run away. And that's just their style. But I think them being face to face, she's looking forward to it so they can discuss what is the future, what is the role in this relationship. One thing I didn't like is that Jamie's a childish and pity. Jamie threatened Chris that if she doesn't send her money, she's going to sell her the necklace that Chris gave to Jamie, which means so much to Chris because apparently Dad's ashes is in the necklace. Why would you give anybody a necklace that has so much value and so much importance to you in a woman of your 40s? I'm sure she's in her 40s or late 30s. That is a mistake you would make in your 20s. Watching these things, it just reminds me of two people who's in their 80s. And obviously that's what Chris says. I'm sure we'll find out what Jamie says story, but I feel like Jamie threatens Chris when she doesn't get her way to anything that comes in her mind without thinking. That's enough about them. Let's go to Mahmoud and Nicole. Last couple of episodes, right? Please comment below. Surely it's not just me. We found Nicole she's mischievous. Very, very mischievous. And she likes to laugh at other people's, would I say misery? No. She finds it entertaining that Mahmoud got a hard time from Noor. I didn't listen, ladies and gentlemen. For me personally, I would not find my friend disrespecting my husband, partner, whatever. Right? That is a reflection on me. That is a reflection on you for allowing that. I don't care what age and sex and male you are. That is a reflection of who you are. If your friend's disrespecting your partner and being aggressive, which Nicole admitted, Nicole said Noura was very aggressive towards Mahmoud and that she gave him a little hard time. And yeah. And so Mahmoud, actually very clever, he decided that he was set. He doesn't like Nicole hang around with that new friend. So, and Nicole herself understood that if she becomes friends with this person, that it will not only piss off her husband, but it can cause a problem in their relationship. So he set it up her to go a market date with Fatima, his sister-in-law. Honestly, the more I watch Nicole, you're from California. Nicole, did you just grow up in like house where you had the maid do everything for you? Because so far, girl, you do not know. You didn't know so far how to put the kettle on. You do not know how to switch the stove on. I mean, come on. Nicole and I are the same age, actually. Am I older than her? And it is confusing that you didn't know. And then now you're in a market picking up vegetables, yeah? And you could not even choose the right vegetables. You were picking up the spoiled vegetables. What were you thinking? And that scene of the live chicken. Oh, that was so funny. She's like, I'm from, I'm independent. Okay, what 30, late 30s woman who's independent does not know that picking up a vegetable who's spoiled or do not know how to put 10 on the stove? You cannot use the word independent. Just tell us that you live on your Deliveroo or Uber Eats. Anyway, she has a chat with Fatima. They went to the market. And I think Nicole's that type of personality where I think you've got a friend who has that. The lifestyle in Egypt does not suit her. Let's put it that way. She finds things like going to the market is stressful because there's the cars, there's the market people haggling and stuff. Every little things, she finds it stressful. She likes peace and quiet. Which makes me think, does she not go out in the bars and restaurants, busy restaurants in California? We will never know. Yeah, but turns out Nicole's ready to move back to California. She informs us that before she left, she applied the visa for Mahmoud to come to California. So she applied for spouse visa. Great. I reckon he should definitely, I think that is her plan. And I think deep down, even though Fatima said, his mum will be crying. And I think because he's the youngest in the family, he's a spoiled, he's going to find it very, never lived another country, especially a Western country. He's going to find the lifestyle there very difficult. So I hope he gets involved in the Egyptian community in California or find a Muslim community in California. Because culture-wise, he'll be able to settle in California easily instead of getting homesick. They go out, he takes her out, and because she wants cat, she's a pet lover, and cat is her preference. So he decided, and he informs us that he's been telling her no, and finally he's ready for them to get a pet. And then that's when she breaks the news to him that she does not want to live here anymore. She's go back to California. And his reaction, to be honest with you, was not that bad, which I believe they talked about it beforehand. But never mind, TLC gives us scene. And yeah, he's like, I was hoping you'll live here, you'll be happy, blah, blah, blah. Next. I would love to see. This is the couple. Instead of giving us freaking Danielle and stuff, please bring back Mahmoud and Nicole. Because I would love to see Mahmoud trying to fit in the state. When the shoes is on the other foot, we'd love to see Mahmoud trying to adjust the life in California. That is something that we, fans of 90 Day Fiancé, would love to see. TLC, take a note, please. Bring them back. Now, Gabby and Isabella. So Gabby's back in Miami, somewhere in Florida. And he meets up with his mom and his sister. He's been there for 2 weeks to get change his birth certificate from female to male. And he breaks the news to his sister and her mom that he's engaged and that he'll be getting married in 2 weeks. His sister was not happy. She felt left out. She felt hurt because they've got a very, very close relationship. And yeah, just like any big sister or any sibling would, I understand where she was coming from. And I think the reason why he hasn't told her, because he feels like his sister has criticized all his past relationships and will criticize in this one too. Understandable. If your siblings and your family is not telling you the truth, then who's going to tell you the truth? If they do not have their concerns, just the only way they would not have a concern about any relationship is if they know your partner from long, long time. You know, they do not know Isabella. She has a concern because she feels like in all his past relationship, Gabby has been taken advantage of financially by his ex-girlfriends. So she's very protective. But they're happy for him. His sister is pretty. Very, very pretty. Loved that. Her curly hair, natural curly hair, as well as when she's straighten it. Definitely prefer a curly girl. Beautiful. Yeah, that was it. That's just his sister's concern. And worried about it. He says that how he feels like Isabella and her will clash because they've got similar personality. I don't think they will clash. I think he's more concerned, which obviously is normal, but I think if he needs to start painting of the soft side of his Isabella. I feel like he's just saying the things that of her personality that his sister might find it triggering, which anybody would. I think if he said that, oh, look, she loves me, her family loves me, she's caring, she's da, you know, she's helping me with business. His sister would understand that more instead of him saying, oh, she's fiery. Anybody was like, excuse me, especially your sister's fiery girl. So, boy. So, I don't know why he did that. His sister wants him to get prenup, and he doesn't. I understand, because his sister wants him to I think at least he's going to research what the law is in Colombia before getting married. Go and research what is the law. They gave us all the couples in this episode. So now which means this video is going to be even longer after that. So now let's get to Danielle and Johan. Just so funny, every time I say Danielle, it's my best mate's called Danielle. That's exactly as I'm like, Danielle. Anyway, Danielle and Johan. Johan has still been a child and been upset about the night before. So in the morning, hasn't apologized. So off she goes on a river cruise with her ex. Yes, I don't know, I was going to say boat, but no, she goes on a river cruise tour with her ex, and she talks to her ex, and he says, where's Johan? And she explains the story behind it, that how he doesn't want to meet him, and yeah, that he's upset about their friendship. It's pretty interesting, I think, from what she told us and how she described, that relationship was just friends in benefit, and it confirms on this episode. He tells us that how they knew that they were not there for long term in their relationship. It was during COVID, and they met, and then they start living together. I think it's probably to do with everybody being made redundancy during COVID, for financial reasons, pretty much. And yeah, so they end up living together. But how she taught him so much about spiritually, financially. Basically, he was just describing us that Danielle was his mentor. And that's the type of friendship they have now. I'm really sorry, but if Danielle, what the hell are you doing? Danielle's doing exactly the same thing she did in that relationship with Johan, except she married Johan because she probably has a dream of just living in the Republic. Like, she said it in her past relationship, she tend to choose men that she can teach and guide. Oh, people, please, can we just stop? It's okay to make mistakes, but can we just learn from our mistakes and our past experiences in relationship? Like, why are people keep on choosing the same type of people and then wondering why the relationship failed? Wondering why many people are single at 40 and still do the same shit. The same shit they sat down with you and said, I'm not going to do, I intend to choose this type of guy, this type of thing. And then here you are. I swear, no joke. Yeah. I know somebody who every time I talk to, who's worried that they're 40 now and that they don't get their life together. But then the following weekend, they went to this gig and did the same shit. Oh my God, I met this really cool guy. No, you weren't. Freaking meet a husband at a freaking, what do you call it? House concert where everybody's high of whatever. Oh. And as a friend, I have to tell her, but obviously she doesn't want to hear it. Yeah. Oh my God, he's a DJ. Oh. Listen, it only works for certain people. Okay? You see that dream story of like, oh my God, I met my husband at the nightclub at 40. Yeah? It was a good night. We were going out, hanging out with my mate, and it does not work for everybody. The dream that you've been sold, whether it's this or that, does not work for everybody. It's not meant to be for everybody. It's destined. So you got to look at it yourself and go like, what is it did I do? What is it am I keep doing? Do you know? Oh, never mind. Danielle seems Danielle seems to be doing the same shit. Here's Johan again, who she's mentoring. Okay? Danielle's been a mom again. Danielle, you really listen, I don't know what's the difference between Danielle and Darcy of 90 Day Fiancé. They are the two pieces in a pod, these two women. Two pieces in a pod, except one is not plastic. And the other completely changed her identity with the plastic, which nothing's wrong with it. That's what you want. Be with it. But seriously, they're the same. They love dating young guys who've got nothing. So they end up depending, they become the dependent on these and taking responsibility of men. Stop it. It's exactly, here's Jalen who's saying, you helped me out financially, you're my spiritual advisor, which I wouldn't. Jalen, I think you need to stop that part because Baba would be going and telling you to go and drink somebody else's piss. Seriously, stop. Yeah, no, Danielle told us in her relationship advice, she tends to choose these guys who needs guardians in, and she becomes that. And I think she needs to break up from there. Danielle, maybe she just doesn't find attractive men of her age, but I think that's what she needs to look at. Or at least find a young man who's mature. who's got his own. She intended to choose the same type of guys. That's what we discovered on this episode. Now, who have I known? Oh, we leave Osman. Yeah. Let's get with Jenny and her delusional friends. They open up with them to her go questioning now suddenly to Rishi, and he's I give you 10% of the truth. And Richie's like, oh, honestly. But anyway, we leave that conversation. So let's talk about she and her friends go to Indian traditional dancing. So there they are, just like being taught how to dance and having fun. And then they sit down together. It was very, very nice. By the way, that palace was beautiful. Beautiful. Loved it. That they showing us different side of India. I say take TLC. You get a point from there. And so they sit down having their chai tea. And she suggests that Rishi invited her and her friends to his home. Her friends suggest, why don't we tell Richie's family that you guys are engaged? This is a bad idea. Personally, I think it's a bad idea. It is better as a woman for the man to claim you and them telling his family about her. Yeah, it's a poor taste. Poor taste, I say no, but that is what their plan. Their plan is to go to this dinner, family dinner, and ask questions and then spill the. Yeah, according to Richie, they going to spoil everything. Especially, remember, his spiritual advisor again told him that he needs to break the news at this time and this date. Now, Jenny, well done for getting a translator. I'm going to find out how much of the truth that translator will tell us next week or tell her. But I really hope she makes the translator clear that I'm paying you. I'm paying you, B, so you better tell me every little thing that his family say. Because I'm not sure how comfortable that translator, especially now that she knows the ins and outs of this relationship. And the fact that her friends say, we might be telling this, whether she would translate that or not. But I really hope she gets out of, because she's going to have that conflict of, should she protect this guy who's from her country, her culture, or should she tell the truth of the questions that's been asked directly? So I say, well done for getting translator, because every time I watch this series of 90 Day Fiancé and any other reality television where the couples, one of the couples don't speak the language, one half of the couple, when their partner's translating, they never say it as is. So well done for doing that. Translator, please give us the please do a good job. Now, and we'll find out next week. They left us hanging on the cliff again with them, just like they did last week. Let's get on with our final couple, Osman and Debbie. Miss Debbie, yeah. I must say, Miss Debbie is one of my favorite of all time on this episode of all time of 90 Day Fiancé. I think this woman is just living her best life and wants this toy boy, except she picked the wrong toy boy. Such a shame. I think Debbie should just went to Gambia. I think if Debbie went to Gambia, she can live that African lifestyle by the beach, get a nice house, and get a toy boy. That's what she should have done. Going to Morocco was a bad idea. The guys in Gambia, you wouldn't have a culture clash. They'd be like, it's okay, darling. I'll fix the house as long as you pay for the rent. I give you good that, the fantastic. Somebody should tell Debbie that's where she should win. Because that's all the old English women and the Germans and the French retired go. Get a nice young African guy. If you're watching this, forget about the Yahoo boys, man. I'm really, really looking forward to the day when 90 Day Fiancé, right? There will be a guy that is from Gambia. Damn it! Maybe they need to do the UK version. Yeah, I hope season 2 of 90 Day Fiancé UK comes back. And I want to see a Gambian guy on there. Forget about these Yahoo nonsense. Get a Gambian guy. You know what that really reminds me of? If there's a documentary, if you're really interested of watching this type of thing, called My Muhammad Is Not Like Your Muhammad, which is these white old ladies marrying Egyptian guys. Yeah, Nicole needs to watch that. It's dope. But the guys all have wives on the side. But and then they got the English wife. So basically they have more than one wife, but the English wives don't care because they've got their husbands, their part-time husbands, is they go out, they have a drink wine with them, they party with their friends, they live in that lifestyle. But then the other wife is just there to give him kids. It's a dope documentary though. I think it's one of the best documentary. If I find it, I might put it in the link below. Now, Osman. We really, really found the true Osman. Who really Osman is, right? I said it from the beginning. Osman is here for that green card. But what is so annoying is every episode so far that I watched, Debbie's like, no, we discussed me living in here. And I want him to bring that proof of that he told her. Because right now in this episode, he was like, completely came out. And we will see him on the next episode, challenging her and saying, didn't I not tell you that I wanted to live in the US? I want him to tell us the truth, just like Jamie did on this episode. So they're at his parents' house. She woke up the first morning and then she was saying, you know, just one night of staying here has aged me for 10 years. Also, I completely, she's 67 years old. She means that's why she was happy the dad is 68 because he's a year older than her. Okay, let's move on from that. I thought she was very, very thoughtful. She started complaining about the lifestyle. There, she's like, oh, this house is decorated like it's the 70s, the toilet seats, the way the bathroom is. Enough after that nonsense. I don't understand why she's complaining. This is not a freaking 5-star hotel. This is a farmhouse. This is not the capital city. Yeah. She brings a gift from everybody from America. And it was so sweet, the gift that she gave to his father. His father used to do drawing when he was younger. And he said he hasn't been drawing for years. So she got him a drawing clip. I don't know what it's called. The board game, I can't remember what it was called. She got him a pencil and pen. The dad was so happy Like, it was so nice to see that her show being very thoughtful and the appreciation from both sides of it. Her saying that I wouldn't show them that they welcome me into their home because I want to show you my appreciation, and him actually genuinely being happy that she got him this gift. It's so nice and sweet to see. Really, really enjoyed it, seeing that part. And then sits down with his sister, comes with the tea and stuff. And they sit down, and his sister says, "So what is your plan? And when are you guys going to the move So his sister is that to the US. And she said, "No, no, 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 guys. We're not moving to the US. We are living in Morocco." And you can see his family's faces. They're like, "Excuse me?" And they were like, his sister's probably thinking, we didn't get, a woman of the same age as my mum for him to be living in this struggle in Morocco. There's no way. I told you there's no way they would allow that. Yeah? So his sister says to him, but Osman's dream has always been about moving to the US. They. So she asked him, she said, and she says, which was actually a true concern of everybody's watching it. She said, how's based on Debbie's age? Well, is it the age? Okay. Based on where Debbie's from and how she's been brought up, she doesn't think she will fit in the culture in Morocco. I don't think she will fit in the lifestyle in Morocco. I think Debbie moved to Gambia. There's going to be a lot of challenge to the traditional thing going on, the medical, how are you going to deal with that healthcare with the doctors and everything else? But hey, this is Debbie's dream. So we're going to live Miss Debbie and her dream. La La Land, she's on. So she did. So that's her. And she falls off the horse too. Oh, her falling off the horse was priceless. Yeah, so we see Debbie on her. From that moment, you can see his family are very surprised and shocked. They were not aware. And so Debbie and Osman go out. He wants to take her to go and see the horses in their farm and to go and do a drawing. So she goes on a horse, falls off again, and she says she just has a bad luck. Those are my words. Can't remember exactly what was her words, but so she seems to be having a bad luck. But it's so funny? Like, I love Debbie. It's just what I love her characters is who she is. It's like she's so giddy. She is just living her life. Seriously, I love that about her. She doesn't feel embarrassed or ashamed or anything other than she says it, but that's it. She's like, whatever, get on it. So they sit in there drawing, and she decides to have a conversation with him because she wants to, obviously, after having that night in his home, family home, she can't see herself staying there long term. She wants them to plan the next step, which is get an apartment in the city. He, on the other hand, just wants to enjoy this day and start doing his drawing and just sit there peacefully in the farm. And she's like, oh, well, Osman, what are we going to do next? I want to look in the apartment. And he's like, look, every day, this is when he loses the plot. He's like, every minute and every day, you just want to plan. Can we just not have a peaceful day without you planning? I just came here to enjoy the horses, to do the drawings. I tell you all the time, we will do that. But just like a crazy mental person, you keep on talking about the same thing. He just loses it and tells her, you mental. I'm not even, I'm laughing because I'm laughing because because the boy, ah, I'm laughing because it's just like, oh, it was priceless. Priceless. I'm not saying Miss Debbie hair herself was very fiery. Very, very fiery. Yeah. I think she's got that fiery personality in her as well. But he is just on every episode, he's been calm, collective, and this moment just like he was into his drawing and all that's all he wanted to do. And obviously he didn't express himself, but he was angry the fact that he didn't express it, but reading him, he was upset that this woman decided to tell his family that there is no chance of him going to live in America and her applying the visa for him. So therefore, deep, deep inside, he was like coming from there to be on this beautiful date, and he wants to draw, loves his drawings, and her want to plan life. He just lost it. Which I said, his true colors came out on this episode. His true colors came out, and it was like he was like, "Look, I had enough of being very, very nicey right now. Enough is enough. You're already like embarrassing me." I think that's why he felt embarrassed that she talked about that. You can see his eyes when they were saying when they sat down with his sister and his dad, her saying that they're not moving, and yeah, he just loses it and he says, "Look, can we just have a peaceful day without you talking about plans, 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 plans?" It's like, oh, and we're going to see more of what happens next week. Thank you very much for watching my YouTube channel. My name is Miss Iffy. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Please share it with your family and friends. Bye.
This is the gown.